the unborn, the sick, and the elderly, and doing so with official state sanction and funding. That's the reality in Canada right now. Our culture is in rapid decline. It's a culture of death, a culture that's increasingly embracing pansexualism and every form of debauchery imaginable, a culture that's ultimately in rebellion against God. It's my sense that this decline is actually accelerating at the present time. Witness the absolute lunacy of the gender identity movement and its blasé, uncritical, and instantaneous acceptance by virtually every culture-shaping institution outside of orthodox religious institutions. And quite frankly, most of those are largely silent on the subject. As an aside, this point was brought home quite clearly to me last year with a full-page puff piece in my local newspaper about the head of the psychiatry department at the local hospital, a man who is, in their words, bravely living as a woman now. We can now say the asylum is quite literally being run by the inmates. That's the reality. As homeschoolers, we recognize we are more than just an alternative, more than just a better way to educate, and more than even family builders and nurturers, although we are all of these things. We are ultimately a countercultural movement. We and the children we raise are the salt to preserve the otherwise rotting flesh of our fallen society. We are a Christian ministry, and we're uniquely positioned to help equip a new generation. Those we educate are not just tomorrow's leaders. They're the ones who will join with the faithful to lead the way out of the morass here in the Western world that we're living in, even if it's still possible to do so. Or I should say, if it's still possible to do so. However, let's remember there are no guarantees about this. The Christians of the Western Roman Empire did not expect to see such a rapid end to their civilization in the 4th century, nor did they foresee the Dark Ages that came shortly afterwards. Yet the barbarians are at the gates. The assault on our parental rights and the safety and innocence of our children is happening. TWU decision, the summer jobs program, homosexual clubs in these Alberta schools, SOGI in BC schools. It's the same in other provinces too, and in many US states and across much of Western Europe. Don't think this is just happening here. It's an organized and strategic initiative. You know, nearly 80 years ago, Winston Churchill stood in the House of Commons in Britain, the original House of Commons, and delivered one of his first speeches as Prime Minister, one of his very first speeches. It was a time of great national emergency. He spoke of developments on the continent. He said, "What General Weygand called the Battle of France is over." So many of you will know this speech, I'm sure. "I expect that the Battle of Britain is about to begin. Upon this battle depends the survival of Christian civilization. Upon it depends our own British life and the long continuity of our institutions and our empire. The whole fury and might of the enemy must very soon be turned on us. Hitler knows that he will have to break us in this island or lose the war. If we can stand up to him, all of Europe may be free, and the life of the world may move forward into broad, sunlit uplands. But if we fail, then the whole world, including the United States, including all that we've known and cared for, will sink into the abyss of a new dark age, made more sinister and perhaps more protracted by the lights of perverted science. Let us therefore brace ourselves to our duties, and so bear ourselves that if the British Empire and its Commonwealth last for 1,000 years, men will still say this was their finest hour." You know, the storm clouds of a different kind of war, a culture war, are clearly visible. But the evil we face is no less serious than what faced Churchill's time. Battles have already been fought and lost, as Michael so clearly explained. The battle for our children's souls is upon us. The fight to keep our parental rights is here. So let us also brace ourselves to our duties, and so bear ourselves so that if our Western civilization can be redeemed, our descendants will always recognize this as our brightest hour.
Wow.